Hey guys, welcome to King's Wrestling Talk, and today we're going to talk about WrestleMania 34 matches that we will most likely see, or definitely ones that are hinting that we're going to get, guys, because WrestleMania is literally 2 months away, if that, and it is coming up very quickly. We're about a week away from the Elimination Chamber, then it's Fastlane, and then next stop, WrestleMania 34. And the card stack that we're going to get for WrestleMania at the moment does look alright. I would like to see a lot more matches than what there is at the moment. Definitely a few of the main events I'm hoping they don't screw up, especially Nakamura AJ Styles. I have heard of a little rumour that we will talk about in just a few moments, and the match that a lot of people are dreading that we're going to see, and that's Roman versus Brock, but we'll also talk about that match going forward. But we'll start with the first match, and that will be Undertaker versus John Cena. So guys, this first match for Undertaker and John Cena, it's been definitely hinted a lot back when Roman and Cena had their promo thing at No Mercy, I think it was, and Cena did quote about the Undertaker being a washed up veteran with a bad hip, and I thought back then, maybe down the track they may have that match, and then the whole thing with Roman ending Undertaker's career, which he didn't really end the Undertaker's career. The Undertaker left on his terms, left his hat, gloves, coat, all in the ring as a sign of respect to himself that he was going to walk away. And I don't think we're going to get that Undertaker this year. I'm hoping, from my point of view, what I would like to see, I definitely want to see the Undertaker from what we saw in 2001, not the dead man, but the American Badass Undertaker. He'd come out on the bike and he would raise the one arm. That's the Undertaker I'm hoping we see this year. I don't want to see them use that gimmick. I think that gimmick has been set where he's retired now. I think we don't need to see that anymore. I think going forward, if the Undertaker wants to stay for a few more years, or whether he's just coming back for WrestleManias, he's only very limited left. After last year's appearance with what we got of the Undertaker, it wasn't the best Undertaker that we've seen, but I'm not going to say that he was shit, because at that age, it's not going to be great. You expect that, and everything he's done in the past, that justifies that one match to me. I'm not going to pick him on that one match, there's no way. But definitely I do see Undertaker versus John Cena, and even John Cena quoting on Raw last week saying that, WrestleMania can bring when I get it right, that the Undertaker or something WrestleMania can bring something back from the ashes, or the dead back from the ashes. And I knew straight away they were setting that up between Undertaker versus John Cena. So I definitely see that match, guys. Undertaker versus John Cena. Who will win? That's a big one, because I don't see both of them losing. I don't see WWE putting over John Cena and leaving the Undertaker. I think it's something that John Cena wants on his list of defeating Undertaker at WrestleMania. But will WWE give it to him? I'm not 100% sure. But if I had to pick, I would probably have to go with John Cena. I think, not that I want it, but I think WWE would do that just because it's WWE. Mark Calloway has done so much for the WWE, and I think he would definitely turn a blind eye to this one once again. So definitely John Cena would walk out of that match victorious if I had to pick, but I think my heart would have to be Undertaker. I think a lot of other people would have to be the Undertaker. Now I'd like to know your opinion as well, if you would prefer him to come out as the Undertaker with the hat, the gloves, the Undertaker that we know, or, the Undertaker, the American Badass, motorbike. And I think that would be the best time, and don't give it away. I think leave that for WrestleMania, as people wouldn't expect it. So definitely that match, guys. And the next match would be the SmackDown Women's Championship match, guys. Charlotte defending her women's championship would definitely have to be against Asuka. A lot of people saying it'll be Ronda Rousey, but I don't think, guys, Ronda Rousey is going to get that push straight away. I don't think she's going to go into a title picture, guys. I don't see it like that happening. I think WWE are too smart on that. I think we'll probably get that at SummerSlam or maybe Survivor Series, but then saying Survivor Series, they may do that women's tag team match. The 4 horsemen of the women's division versus the other 4 horsewomen of NXT. So you've got Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, and the other 2 girls. I'm not even sure their names. But then it'll be like Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Which going forward with the Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views now being combined after WrestleMania, and WWE has said that every pay-per-view after that will be combined, Raw and SmackDown, which I'm a little bit worried about, guys, because there's a lot of undercard talent that I think is going to be misopportunitized on, and they're going to get left in the shuffle. But if WWE does this correctly, they very might just work around that, and they're giving the pay-per-view times an extra hour, so that will probably help that a lot. So fingers crossed that WWE can do that. But going back to Charlotte versus Asuka, I think that's the match people want. I think that's what WWE wants, and that's what we're going to get. And I think that match is definitely going to be good. I don't see Asuka losing just because of the undefeated streak, but it would be very, very, very surprising if she does, and it was something to put on Charlotte's resume of everything that she's going to achieve in the future of being in the WWE. And it would be definitely a shocker if Charlotte did defeat Asuka. But I think, you know, Asuka's definitely going to walk out of this match winner and also new women's champion, SmackDown women's champion. But in saying that, I'm not 100% sure what will happen with Carmella, because she does have that SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase, guys. So I have a feeling maybe Elimination Chamber when Ronda Rousey signs the contract, but then that's not a joint pay-per-view. I was thinking in my mind maybe they might come out, Charlotte may come out and like have a confront each other, but then that's not the SmackDown pay-per-view. But we'll have to see and wait until what comes. But definitely, if I had to pick, Asuka is going to walk out of that match. Definitely. New SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, the next match is going to be the Intercontinental Championship match, guys. And it is The Miz going one-on-one. Well, it's rumoured to be going one-on-one with Braun Strowman or Finn Balor. I think, personally, if any match I would like to see, I think Braun Strowman shouldn't even be going for the IC title. I think he should be at the Universal title picture, and he's definitely there. And I think after Mania with Brock and Roman, I think he should definitely be the next one in line for that Universal title. I know he's had a few with Brock Lesnar, but to make Brock Lesnar and him look legit, Brock Lesnar needs a legit an opponent, and there's no really person on that Raw roster that has the legitimacy as Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has that feel about him, which, you know, it looks believable that he could beat Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman is one of them guys. But if I had to pick guys, I would rather see Finn Balor versus The Miz. I would love to see that match. I think it would be definitely one for the ages, and I think that night Finn Balor would definitely become IC title champion. I would like to see him Intercontinental champion, IC title champion. Definitely, I think Finn Balor would definitely make that match very interesting. But then saying that, Maurice, they announced it on Total Divas that her pregnancy will be around about that time, and I'm not sure what the Miz is going to be doing, so he might drop the title sooner if he wants to be in, because obviously he won't be there for the birth of their daughter. So I do see that possibly happening, guys. So things could happen here and there, injuries could occur that could change all this. So it's one match to definitely look forward to, guys, is The Miz going one-on-one with Braun Strowman or Finn Balor. So guys, the next match would be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and this is what I reckon is going to happen, guys. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in that tag team match against Ronda Rousey, and I believe WWE are trying to get The Rock, but a lot of back and forward arguing's going on. Not if it's arguing, it's just trying to get The Rock set into WrestleMania because, you know, movie contracts, you know, if he gets injured, then movies have to get delayed back, and there's a lot of payout for that, guys. So definitely their main focus is The Rock, but if that doesn't fall through, there's Braun Strowman, definitely, because of the little controversial side they had at Survivor Series with Braun Strowman and Triple H. Maybe within the next weeks, if something doesn't pop up, I could see Triple H screwing Braun Strowman out of the chamber or something like that. I don't know. It wouldn't really make sense because it's such a long gap from Survivor Series to Elimination Chamber. So it would have to be somewhat set, maybe even the next couple of weeks, with something with Stephanie, or, you know, Braun doing something to Stephanie, or, you know, something like that. But that would be another replacement for The Rock. But if I had to pick, I think Ronda and Rock, that would make more sense to me as a fan, because of a couple of years ago when Ronda actually come into a WWE ring, it was set around The Rock. So I could see that match definitely happening. Triple H, definitely Rock, Ronda, tag team match, guys. Something that's definitely on the card. And we all know Ronda's going to be at Mania, guys, because she's signing her WWE contract, her Raw exclusive WWE contract, at the Elimination Chamber, guys. So don't forget to check that out. Comment below what would you like to see, if any of these matches you think, or you have a feeling of what other different kind of matches that you want to see, or you feel like they're going that way. Comment below, I would like to know. The next match would be definitely Bray Wyatt going one-on-one with Matt Hardy. I do see this match, even though they've had matches on Raw and SmackDown, I could see a final deletion match. If not many people know what that is, go research TNA from all Matt Hardy stuff, final deletions, Decay, when they had their matches, guys. So check that out. I do see that match happening. It would definitely be very interesting. Maybe Jeff Hardy will be back in time. I don't know. It's possible, but I very highly doubt it. What they could do around that with having him with Brother Nero, and then Senior Benjamin, and then the rest of the gang. It could be that so on kind of thing. So definitely keep your eye out for that one, because I feel like they've definitely started something here. I don't think it might be Elimination Chamber. I think they're going to build it up to Mania. I definitely see it happening, but definitely I hope the payoff will be worth it. I have a feeling it may be a letdown, but keep these crossed just in case. The next match, guys, would be Seth Rollins. We'll go with the original match. Was definitely going to be set for the original match. Would have been Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, but unfortunately Dean Ambrose got injured. The way I looked at it, it was definitely Dean Ambrose was going to turn heel on Seth, and then go into Mania as Seth being as the face and Dean being the heel, and be something completely different, and something we wouldn't expect. And then that got injured, and then we jumped to the Jason Jordan situation, and Jason Jordan got injured, and now we're going to get Seth Rollins, well, hopefully Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle. I think that match would be, personally, out of them two matches, out of the whole three, if I had to pick one, it would definitely be Kurt Angle. I think that match right there has a 5-star match quality. But saying that, a lot of people would be very skeptic on, because Kurt Angle being so old. But I think Seth Rollins can definitely carry that match, and Kurt Angle wouldn't even have to do much. I think just Kurt Angle's name would solidify that match as being one of the greatest matches could go down in WrestleMania history. And I think definitely for Seth Rollins' career, it would be something very big for him to do. And yeah, so Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle would be one I would really like to see. Now the next match, guys, it has been rumoured and speculated for a while now, and it's been a slow build, but I feel like there's going to be a payoff from this. But I said that it would have been a couple of years ago now, when they had The Miz and Daniel Bryan had that storyline on SmackDown. And I thought, oh, they're going to bring Daniel Bryan back, because The Miz was just poking the bear every week, you know, and nothing ever happened from that. But I feel like somewhat we may see a tag team match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. I do see that, but I think preferably I would rather see a singles match with Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan, just because of the build-up that's happened over the past few weeks on SmackDown Live, or the past few months actually, going back from last year really, from when Shane and Kevin Owens were in that Hell in a Cell, and then build up straight up from there, and then to the Royal Rumble where Daniel Bryan gave them a title shot, pretty much gifted them one, and then the whole storyline just built out from there. And I think, you know, that could be a really, really, really interesting match, and very high eye content, because a lot of people would be wanting to see Daniel Bryan back in that ring one more time. But honestly, I don't want to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring one more time. I want to see him back permanently, because he's one of my favourites, guys. But then saying that, I don't want to see him get injured again, or see him paralysed or anything like that, or see him concussed again, because you never know. The next concussion may be a lot worse than the one he previously had, or the ones that build it up. And I don't want to see him get injured, guys, and I don't think a lot of you people would. But that tag team match would definitely be something that would not have so much impact on Daniel Bryan. But then saying that, it could give them space, so Daniel Bryan wasn't have to be over 100%. Shane could take a lot more, you know, a lot more bumps than Daniel. So he'll definitely, I have heard a lot of podcasts from Daniel Bryan, and he has stated the two things: that if he was to come back into the ring, his moveset would be completely different. So he wouldn't be taking as many suicide dives, and a lot more around his neck would be completely different. So all his movesets would be completely changed. And also that if WWE don't sign him to a WWE contract, or I'm going to state that one perfectly correct, if they don't give him a wrestling contract, I think he's up the 7th of this month, I think the 7th month of the year, or maybe October time, round about then, October, September, I think, that he'll be parting ways with the WWE, and he'll be going to the independent circle, and definitely the independent circle for that will have big eyes surrounding that, because wherever he goes, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, whatever match he's in first, it is going to get views after views, and that pay-per-view will most likely sell just like that. Or even if it's on the independent circle, then tickets will sell something crazy. There's no doubt about it. But guys, also there's another match I would like you to comment below. What would you rather see? A tag team match or a singles match? I preferably would like a singles match between Shane and Daniel Bryan, because I think Shane would be the perfect candidate to protect him through the ring. I'm not saying that the other guys couldn't do that, or they wouldn't. I just think Shane has the right mind fight up I just think Shane has the great mind focus to make sure that Daniel Bryan wouldn't purposely get injured through it. And definitely, he, as one of the McMahons, could be out there watching it, but not also watching it, playing out that storyline to make sure that Daniel Bryan didn't get hurt, because that's one thing they're definitely worried about, is this concussion issue. Because if they were allowing him to get back in the ring, and if he got a concussion again, I could just see headline waves. It would just be something that WWE, I don't think they could come back from. But guys, going forward, the next match, there's not even saying it, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. It has been set now. There's no saying that Roman Reigns is not going to win at WrestleMania because Brock, I believe after WrestleMania, his contract is up. And I don't think he's re-signed yet. And I don't see him re-signing. And that's another thing. There's more speculation of whether he wants to go back to UFC. I know he has put through the USADA drug test. And he is going through that. And I think his suspension is up this year. So we could possibly see a Brock Lesnar UFC return. And I know deep down he would probably want to justify the fight with Mark Hunt and also justify when he lost because of his medical injuries and when he had that real bad illness that he had. So he wants to justify that as well. But Roman Reigns is definitely walking out champion. He's walking out that chamber. It would not surprise me if Roman Reigns pins everybody in the Elimination Chamber to make him look legit and strong as the biggest badass in the WWE, just so he can beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then after that, I just want to see Braun Strowman take that title. I'm not caring about the match because I know what's going to happen. I have justified in my mind that this is what we're getting. There's no changing it. The fans for that match is not getting what we want. So a lot of fans, mixed reactions. I'm against it. Just because the fact is we know what's happening and we know WWE's direction with Roman. He's the next guy that's going to replace Cena. When Cena finally decides to part ways with WWE and make his exit, Roman Reigns is being built up to be the next guy. It's not half obvious to see, which, good for Roman. That would be an awesome spot to have. I think anyone in that company would love to be in his spot. But saying that, there's a lot of other guys on that card that I would love to have seen face Brock Lesnar. I wanted to see Finn Balor, which a lot of people would think he wouldn't have a chance. Finn Balor's this to Brock, muscle size, weight. But it's not always about the muscle size, weight, and how big and legit they have to look. It's, for instance, AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, Survivor Series. What a match, I could definitely see Finn Balor being in that role of the position of facing Brock, and I would have loved to have seen it. But they didn't give us at the Rumble, and we're not going to get it. And we probably won't see it, ever. So, unfortunately, it'll be Roman walking out champion. Next match will be the Raw Women's Championship. It's going to be I think it'll be Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I think it's the only logical match that makes sense. Two BFFs going off against each other. And these matches, of all I'm saying, are not guaranteed to happen, except Roman versus Brock, because that's the only logical one. But these are the ones that have been rumoured and speculated, and the storylines are starting to build up. So WWE a little bit predictable these days now. So guys, it's not like how it used to be. The internet is just a marvellous thing, and everything just leaks out these days. So going forward, we might see more leaks being forward. I know last year's WrestleMania card got leaked, and we knew like 2 months in advance. So if I had to pick out of Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, I'm not sure how Nia Jax is going to get into this match. I feel at Elimination Chamber that somehow she's going to win. She won't pin Asuka, but maybe she may get herself disqualified Asuka, or the ref might think that she's been disqualified. And then saying that, because Nia Jax has said, if Nia Jax gets in this match, if Asuka loses her match, then Nia Jax will be added to the Raw Women's Championship match. So I honestly think Nia is going into that match. So Nia versus Alexa Bliss, WrestleMania, Raw Women's Championship. And then the last match I have for you guys, and that will be AJ Styles, WWE Champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, guys. I think this match will go down one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever. only if WWE don't hold back their momentum, guys. Because a few years ago at Wrestle Kingdom, they had a phenomenal match, guys. And I would love to see that match just one more time. We know we're getting it, but I have a feeling, guys, and I was listening to JD from Off the Script this morning, and he made a very great point that Dolph Ziggler's contract for the next 2 years is a $1.5 million contract. And that's just not going to be any kind of contract, guys. Why would you give someone for 2 years that was walking out the door that you give no opportunities to, year in, year out? I have a feeling, guys, he's walking out Elimination Chamber with that WWE Championship, and they're going to finally give Dolph Ziggler that spot in the WrestleMania main event, or it won't be the main event, but WWE classes as the big title matches as the main event. But yeah, they're going to give that big push to Dolph Ziggler, which then will make it a triple threat match, guys. So then it will be AJ versus Nakamura versus Ziggler in the triple threat match, and that's what we will see. So if I had to pick who's going to win, Ziggler winning the title at Elimination Chamber. But then saying that, if that match does happen, I'd rather see one-on-one competition. But if that does, I think the title has to go on Shinsuke Nakamura. You cannot have him have his third WWE Championship match and then lose again. I think it would just bring the momentum down of Shinsuke Nakamura, and especially, it would be pointless then of him winning the Rumble. They should have just given it to Roman Reigns. I think, so definitely some big matches there, guys, that have been set for WrestleMania. Well, haven't been set, but have been rumoured for WrestleMania, guys. So, I would love to know your opinion, guys. Comment below what you think may happen at WrestleMania, what may not, which you think may not happen, will happen, your opinions, or what you think we'll want to see at WrestleMania. Leave your feedback. I want to know, guys. So, thank you for watching King's Wrestling Talk, guys, and we'll see you back for more, guys. Thank you.